Welcome back. Today I want to talk about short, skillful meditations versus purely long meditations. So, skill versus time. Let's get into that. What is really going to help you the most to get your meditation to the next level? How can we really accomplish that? Let's get into it now. So the two kinds of students that I get the most are new students who are trying to get into meditation the very best possible way that they can. And I get those who have been meditating for a long time and they haven't been as successful as they wanted to be. And so in this case, I'm a remedial teacher, and here I'm building up somebody from scratch. So those are the two kinds of students that I get. And the students that have been around a long time, they have a lot of ideas from other systems. And one of those persistent ideas is that I need to meditate a very long time. And so they will often set themselves the goal that I want to be able to meditate for 6 hours. I want to do 1,000 kriyas. And that's going to get me to my goal. And I have to break that idea down because it's not exactly correct. A better goal would be that I want to accomplish 4 kriyas or 5 kriyas or 6 repetitions of the breath, following the breath and doing Om Japa at the same time. I'm going to do just a few of those, just a handful, and I'm going to go into absorption and samadhi. That's a much better goal to set for yourself instead of setting the goal, I'm going to do 1,000 kriyas in one sitting. Because the goal is wrong, it will often lead to stress. So the meditator will reach the capacity that they're comfortable with, and then they will push past it. Well, that pushing past what is comfortable, you're now in the sympathetic system. You're no longer working with the parasympathetic system. So if you're familiar with the Gita, you have left the Pandavas. You just wiped them out. And you have abandoned the Pandavas because the Pandavas are the parasympathetic system. You have to keep the parasympathetic system. So you're thinking, I'm going to push through. But now you're using a different team. You're not using the correct team. The Gita tells us very clearly we have to go with the Pandavas. There's no other way to reach heaven, right? At the very end of they win the war, and then they go up the mountain into heaven. So you have to stick with those Pandavas because they're the only ones going up the mountain into heaven. So you have to stick with the parasympathetic system. So you cannot enter into this I will push through mode. There is some discipline that you might gain from forcing yourself to sit for a very long time. But the damage that you do to your meditative habit is not good. So first of all, you're awakening your sympathetic system. You are no longer comfortable. And so now you're creating the idea inside of yourself that meditation is not purely comfortable. And you want to make your meditations as absolutely comfortable as possible so that you can hold on to the parasympathetic system. And what will happen over a long period of time of doing this over and over again is that you will create a love-hate relationship with your meditative practice. And that's not what you want because it's already hard enough to create a good meditative habit. So if you wash out that desire by creating strain in your meditation practice, you run the risk of wiping out your whole habit and creating this love-hate relationship, which then is very hard to untangle. So you have to come to somebody like me who's a remedial teacher, and they have to unwind that for you. They have to help you to unwind that. How do I unwind this love and this hate? How do I get back into love? Love of my practice. because that's what's going to draw you back again and again. That's what you want. You want to be drawn back because you love it, not because you should. If you're doing meditation for a should, well, it's only going to run out until you run out of that willpower, and your heart won't be in it. And so you got to be invested with your heart. So you got to love what you're doing, or you're not going to keep coming back. And so that's why I try and create addictive practices over and over again for myself and for my students. I try and create addictive practices. Heart rate variability, resonant breathing. What happens? You get into the 4 proofs. It's addictive. Isn't that wonderful? Your heart rate goes down. You get into a quiet place. It's addictive. Isn't it wonderful? The other risk that we run is creating a habit of being partially in our meditation and partially somewhere else. We're kind of here, but we're not really interested. We're kind of somewhere else. I'm not talking about, sometimes our mind wanders and we have to bring it back. I'm talking about consistently being half there, where you see that you're here. I'm supposed to be meditating, but I've run out of steam, and now my mind is just wandering. So now you're creating that habit rather than stopping at an appropriate moment and saying, you know what, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do another session later where we're fresh, we're full of steam, our heart's in it, we're ready, and we're doing a short bit of time that makes it fun, makes it interesting, where we can really, truly invest ourselves in what we're doing. So what is the best way? So what is the right way? What is the best way that we can approach our meditation? How can we really take it to the next level? Well, on this channel, I teach you to build skill. Build the skill of heart rate variability, resonant breathing. Build the skill of sitting very still. Build the skill of entering into the tranquil breath. Build the skill of recognizing and entering into the freeze response. All of these skills, as you add on and you add on and you add on, build the skill of Om Japa in each chakra, so you release all your negative emotions easily and effortlessly. Build all of those skills. You build one on top of the other, and what happens? They compound. The benefits suddenly compound. And we have all these wonderful yogis who write me and tell me their experiences through compounding these skills, and it just blows their mind, and it blows my mind. I'm so thrilled to hear about it. I love it. I love it. They send me these big long testaments, and I go through it, and it's thrilling. That's compounding skill, and it's so much more important than just purely beating your head against time, because now you're awakening the sympathetic system instead of compounding the benefits of the parasympathetic system. So even if you think, oh my God, I'm not doing that much, if you love it, if you are invested, if your heart is in it and you're compounding those skills and you're getting benefit back from it and it thrills you, you are 1,000 times ahead of the person who is purely worried about time, because you're working with the correct army. You are working with the Pandavas, which is the Gita. The Gita is all about this war of meditation that I'm entering into. How do I win it? How do I get really good at this yogic war of meditation? Well, pick the Pandavas. It's very simple. Pick that dorsal vagal complex and you're going to win. You're going to win every single time. And isn't that amazing? And so that's what people are figuring out. If I compound these skills, like Forrest is saying, I explode my results. Whereas if I just concentrate and I have to fit myself in this box, and even though it's uncomfortable, I'm going to shove myself in there. Well, now you're in the sympathetic system. You're working with the wrong army. Right? You're working with the wrong army. You've switched camps. So you cannot win. You cannot enter into heaven that way. It has to be through the Pandavas. It has to be through the parasympathetic system. So bite off the chunk that you can really chew and you can really swallow. Bite off the amount of meditation which is comfortable for you. And then finish that phase. Get up, stretch, walk around, pat yourself on the back. Oh my God, I had a great meditation. It was 5 minutes, it was 10 minutes, but man, it was great and I loved it. I found two of the four proofs, or three of the four proofs, or I found all of the four proofs, and I felt some of the breath states, and I felt the freeze response, and I think I entered the tranquil breath. I'm not sure, but it was really tranquil for me. Well, now you're in it. You're in it to win it, right? Now it's really fun and it's grabbing your heart. Your heart is in it. Well, I want more. How do I get more, Forrest? I don't know if I can sit there much longer. I got aches and pains and I get uncomfortable. I don't know if I can. Well, go back. Do another session. Compound your sessions. Do one session, then two, then three. Get up in between, stretch, walk around, pat yourself on the back, write it down in your diary, whatever happened. And now it's fun. Now it's interesting. Now you are compounding your skill. You're putting your heart in it and it's grabbing you. It's swallowing you whole. You just love it. This whole meditation thing, it's transforming my whole life. Om Japa in my chakras, it's transforming who I am. My girlfriend tells me I'm different. My boss is responding to me differently. This is a crazy thing. How is this happening? You're compounding skill and you're doing it. And you didn't need to beat your head against the wall of time. And some students are so bright. They feel this. They go, I don't want to do that because it doesn't feel right. And I'm getting such good results from compounding skill. I can't do that. That's wrong. They get it. I didn't even have to explain it to them. They started to go that way and no, this is wrong. It doesn't feel right. Because now they've recognized the parasympathetic and they understand that's the way to heaven. You see, it's all very simple. It's all very apparent. And the building blocks that I'm giving you, heart rate variability, resonant breathing, the four proofs, sitting very still, the 5 breath states, these things will compound your skill. Watch that playlist. 7 steps to deep meditation. All of that will compound your skills and set you up for success over and over again. And then if you want a longer meditation, we'll do the meditation which is comfortable for you. Then take a break, then do another meditation which is comfortable for you. And you will compound your skill even more. It's very, very easy. When a task is complicated and difficult, we don't want to make it more complicated and more difficult. We want to understand it in the simplest way that we possibly can that creates success. And that's what we're doing here. We're creating success over and over again. So I hope you loved this. I hope it resonates deeply. If it did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you.